Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of a Fujoshi commentary, your go-to place for anime and manga facts, recommendations, and reviews, all done by yours truly. So today I'm going in with a sort of familiarity yaoi guide to just steer along the newbies who are just looking into yaoi or not quite familiar with the territory. Now, most people discover yaoi through fan art, doujin, those weird pairings of Goku and Vegeta that you just think destroy your childhood. I'm going to educate you guys, whether you're just curious about what yaoi is and you want to read more, or you just want to know. So if your friends ever trick you into watching Boku no Pico or Junjo Romantica, you can flatly decline them a no, because you know what that is all about. Oh, without further ado, let's get grooving, humans! Step in understanding yaoi is to understand what yaoi is. Yaoi is basically a term that describes boys love novels, animation, games, visual novels, all that type of stuff. It's basically a specific genre of anime that is dedicated to boys love, boys romance, and male-on-male interactions, which is all clumped into the part of LGBTQ community, but more so in the gay male aspect. Now, if you see chicks with dicks, that's not yaoi. No matter how much they tell you you're gay for liking it, it's not yaoi. It is a female who just happened to grow a nice little schlunk as her part. Well, now you're thinking, well, okay, it's just gay stuff. But let me tell you, in Japan, it's a lot more different than the westernized version. In the West, we have all this beautiful stuff like fan fiction, fan art, all of those little fan comics that you might see at the bookstore that someone was begging someone to use and buy that's still there for years to come. But then there is also the amazing, just over-the-top doujin, which are found in Japan. But there's things like with Super Avengers shipping, Super Husbands, the whole X-Men, the whole Deadpool sucking on Wolverine's dick aspect. There's all that good stuff, which is more clumped into one thing, which is OTP, which means what? True pairing. And then there's shipping with the Avengers that got really popular, Sherlock, Supernatural. For some reason they ship Sam and Dean. I'll never understand why, but I'm not saying no to the concept. Then, of course, there is the Eastern or Japanese concept when it stemmed from by females for females, which is basically women drawing a bunch of gay porn to satisfy their lady bits and how they would perceive it. It's basically if Final Fantasy and Clamp got together and created the yaoi. That is just what women were thinking, I guess. They're very effeminate. There are certain genres that you really have to look at because there are different tastes for different people, and then while some things may look like the generic yaoi look, such as Junjo Romantica, Gravitation, and all that good stuff, there are also those that are a little obscure and people don't really talk about in the mainstream, but yaoi fans will like slip up on you and be like, hey, you know what this is? Now, most yaoi manga, particularly original creations, are very effeminate. The males are very effeminate, very slender. There is the seme and the uk. The seme is the dominating force, or the basically the man in the relationship who sort of dominates, one who inserts the male part into the whole. He is the limousine. Now, ooks are a bit different and can stem from different ways. Ooks are basically the submissive or the one who is the garage, and they take the pounding.
The garage, and the limousine goes into the garage.
Now, sometimes it will be completely spontaneous and weird. You will have a seke, who is someone who goes both dominant and goes down, who can be seme or ook. That is just the whole gist of that. But now there are other subgenres in the yaoi community, which is Shotokan, which Shotokan is the most controversial of them all because it dictates to prepubescent smaller boys who basically just go in and they say, look at me, this little boy. Now, the Shotokan genre was popularized by Boku no Pico, which is a very popular, notorious Shotokan, but in reality, while a lot of people freak out and there were so thousands of reaction videos over Boku no Pico is actually one of the more tamer titles in the Shotokan genre. Don't believe me? Type in Cannabis Shinjumanji. Yeah, you'll be in for it then. There are very, very sort of rapey undertones with Shotokan. That's why many people don't like to touch on the subject, why many people don't really go into Shotokan, but as someone who appreciates all aspects of yaoi, where I may not particularly just be my cup of tea, I respect all genres and I do kind of read into them. Basically, the sexual consent age in Japan is 13, so naturally the boys are prepubescent, they are just hitting into puberty, they look very childlike, so they're around the age of 13 in these. As to general yaoi, will particularly be 16 to 18 as the ook, but typically the ook is usually like 13 or a little bit above that age, and they'll usually be with a grown man, someone like 20, 18, some of them even are 40 and whatnot. It's just a really dark place, but if that's your cup of tea, I'm all for it. And I do have a few artists who are actually acclaimed in that genre that I can link to you in the description down below so that you can check it out, or if you're just curious. Now, I do warn you, that is not for the faint of heart. There are some titles in there that you just, it's trigger inducing. So for those who can get triggered by things like that, there is rape, sometimes incestual sort of titles, so if you're not into that, I'd keep watching this and get some more of those subgenres in. Find what's right for you. The second subgenre would be Shounen-ai. That's the more tamer version, you know? It's gravitation. It's the more popularized than the yaoi aspect. Shounen-ai with gravitation. For some reason, people would describe Junjo Romantica. I see more sexual scenes with that, but it kind of lies into that undertone. Antique bakery, hybrid child, things like that. Those are the more Shounen-ai aspects of your day, and those are what people would typically follow up with. Most people's first anime is the one and only Gravitation with Shuichi and Yuki, and it's one of the most memorable ones, and people would just love it, and it's just amazing. So those are kind of your starter, your gateway drug into the yaoi world, and they're very tame. Now, I will say the manga is a bit more into the sexual themes, so it is still Shounen-ai, but still has that Shounen-ai theme. But if you do like the kind of hardcore-esque, Maki Murakami has her own doujin of what she thought the little slutty and smutty and all that was going to be like. So if you want to see that, I have all that linked in the description below. I am going to do at least 2 titles from each subgenre for you guys so that you get a little taste of it. I may do 4, who knows. It depends on how this editing goes, but whatnot. The last 2 subgenres were more dedicated with women, making them for women. This title, or subgenre, is basically by gay men, for gay men, or by men. And this is Bara, the muscular-y beefcake bears sort of genre, which can range from very, very comical, funny, steamy, to downright torture porn. And when I mean torture porn, I mean Gengoro Tagame, S&M, whips, chains, ball clasps. It's just like, you feel sorry for the characters, is all I'll say. Between Bara and Shotokan, there's definitely some some tension going on. There's definitely some wild imaginations taking place there. Can't even be mad at it. It keeps you reading. It's just Bara can either be very, very like Yaoi and Shotokan and Shounen-ai, where it has a storyline, it kind of goes into things like that, or it can be something that kind of exposes the real truth about being gay in a society or any sort of civilization. I know many of the Genguro Togame, particularly works that I have read, are more so of the entity that being a gay man is very fearful, and there are a lot of homophobes who will use your sexuality to mean you, to make you seem like a dog, or the sort of aspect of Stockholm syndrome where you're being abused by this person for so long, this is all you have to live for. And I've seen a lot of those like that, or they'll use it as a sense of torture porn, you know, sort of degrade your masculinity. It just touches on subjects like that while being very erotic and entertaining, I guess, to some people. Could be triggering to others. Don't know. That's all for you to decide. Links in the description. There are warnings and disclaimers on the descriptions as well, in case you don't get this far into the video and you can't say, well, okay, you didn't tell me about this. And I'll just be like, it's in the description now. I did tell you, you didn't read. Now, with all those subgenres, there are so many artists in each subgenre. Some interlap, some are weird. You may be wondering,
Where do I start?
and I'm just like, hey, besides all the videos I did on some beginners, anime, and manga for yaoi starters, some supernatural and some tragic ones, as well as I think funny or comedic ones, I do want to say that the top 5 starter anime titles or artists I would recommend would be Yamane Ayano, notorious for her Viewfinder and Crimson Spell series, Watanabe Asia, because while her stuff may be a little more mature and steamier and smutty and erotica, it's very cute and the style is
So beautiful and chibi-like.
and it's like, oh, fuck it, it's cute. I want it anyway. Also, there's Nakamura Asumiko, who just recently got her own anime adaptation of Dokusei, and I recommend you go watch that, and I can link that movie in the description down below. Also, another one, Murakami Maki, and not just because of her gravitation, but there's also Kanpai and her Dodushin works. I think those are the best artists to start off with, me personally. I have so much more, but I feel like those are more notorious and well known without just like throwing you in to the center and just dropping you out of there. Now, a lot of the problems I have seen and talking to a lot of my gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender friends about anime and the yaoi aspects in anime and manga is that many of the yaoi aspects aren't really relative to reality in the gay lifestyle, and it kind of seems like either a fetish or something that just isn't what could appease to them personally. Now, a few of them were like, yes, this is nice, I like this. But a lot of them would like more realistic stories, not as in realistic as in,
Oh, hey, that gay person died. Or hell yeah, that person got tortured.
just everyday life, like they would do a shoujo or maybe a story where they have just a normal love connection relationship, which kind of attributes in Shounen-ai, but even in Shounen-ai, sex is the main focal point. And I understand that from that perspective. A lot of that being contributed to the fact that females are the majority of the fan base, as well as females being the majority of artists. And a female, no matter how much we want to, we will never know what it's like to be a gay man, because we are not a man, nor some of us may be gay, but only gay for women. So we really can't tell what a real life gay man is. Now, men who actually go out and do Bara monthly and things like that and have the Bara aspect, and even some of the more obscure, like Furami Suzumaru, I believe his name is, who did Liche Light Club, he added a few gay tendencies in there, but he is not confirmed to be a gay male, so you can't really get that taste. But it could be attributed Western cultures and Western artists who are gay men could make their own. Now, that's debatable. It would take a while to take off for some instances, but I do know a lot of successful gay artists who actually have their own like comics and stuff, and they have all of this. So In regards to Japanese yaoi and the whole Eastern aspect, I definitely see where it is, but you can compensate for that with the Western sort of aspects with shipping and OTP and even original stories that could be attributed to yaoi. Now for the fan art. The fan art seems to be the most common and also the most hated. As someone who personally draws yaoi fan art myself, there is a lot of debate, hate, distortion, harassment, all sorts of stuff. Now when I first got into yaoi, I loved to post it, I loved the fan art, I loved it. My favorite shipping was Sesshomaru and Naraku and Goku and Vegeta, which a lot of DBZ fans hate. And I kind of thrived on that. You better believe it. Now, all that being said, there is a lot of distortion because one side of the fence is like, make
them super gay.
Like, there are some aspects in the original animation that's like, yes, they are gay. They have had this, they have this connection, I see it, they could be gay. And then there's the other side that's just like,
no.
Are not to be gay. They don't even imply gay. They are married, they are this, they're that. And they're saying, oh, you're ruining my childhood. And then the other people are just like,
we'll ruin it as much as we want, it's just fan art.
To me personally, at the end of the day, it is all fan art. While some people may not like it, while some people may think that it's just the destruction of their childhood and the downfall of anything pure and sancted, it's fan art. Now, there are, of course, people who take it too far and go into the harassment or the I
ship you and this is how it's going to be done,
or get really cringy, but in all, fan art is fan art. You can either scroll past, not look at it, don't Google it or whatnot, take steps not to look at it, and if you do look at it, just remember, at the end of the day, they're all fucking cartoons. So I don't see the sort of hate slash go-go train, as we have all the beautiful hypersexualization of females and things like that in Yuri, we can most certainly have yaoi as well. I don't believe in people taking it too far to the point of just harassing people, but things on public forum you should be able to handle. Now that being said, the other side of the spectrum, yaoi posters and yaoi enthusiasts, when you post a yaoi picture, especially if it's not on a yaoi specific forum, you must expect to have people who will not like it or say something. That doesn't make them a homophobe, that doesn't make them a bigot, that doesn't make them this and that like we like to throw around. That just simply means that they have an opposing opinion, and sometimes they feel the need to say it. Sometimes they might even be joking. You have to have an open mind and you have to have thick skin. Otherwise, you're going to be looking like a whiny ass victim when you get it done. So I leave you with that. Those are just my views on the whole situation. What did you guys think? Did I miss something? Did you want me to make a follow-up video on this? If so, let me know down in the comments below. And if you like this video, maybe you should just give it a like, share it with all your friends, support my Patreon. You can make a one-time donation to PayPal. I can keep making videos like this, and I do have a few more in-depth videos such as reviews and some more top 5 yaoi titles and top 10s regular animes. So you could probably get some of those and I can work a little faster for you guys. With that being said, guys, I thank you so much for watching this video. I do try to make at least 2 videos every week, so I'm on the ball. I'm trying to get on the grind. So with that being said, peace, love, and stay groovin', humans. Bye!